On average, Americans spend 90% of their time indoors. And as Americans have spent more time in front of screens and indoors, we've seen a rise in health issues, obesity, heart disease, cancer, etc. Modern, degenerative, chronic health. And while everybody understands the role of nutrition, and people are trying to attack it from different angles, and fitness, what about light? Who is talking about light nutrition? When I stumbled into the red light to near infrared rabbit hole, I started realizing that our biology needs a certain amount of light at certain doses and certain wavelengths. I thought about nutrition and food and how that with minerals and vitamins, we need a certain dose, a certain amount. Too much, not good. Too little, not good. We need the golden mean, as Aristotle called it, for food, for minerals, for water, for sleep, and for light. And then the idea of light nutrition was a complete epiphany for me, so much so to the point that I had to source these bad boys and sell them on the website. Now, I don't want to do a huge deep dive into the science. There are thousands, I believe it's like 30,000 plus studies around red light and near infrared light therapy, pretty much universally showing how they're good for you. There's going to be a link to that somewhere here. There's a spreadsheet database of just tons and tons of them that you can read through. And most people aren't going to really care about that. You probably don't care about that a whole lot either. But if you do, go read into some of that. It's pretty fascinating stuff. Or you just want to understand how can you implement this in your life and a very basic understanding of why you should. Well, that's what I want to cover today. What we first have to understand is the sun. The sun powers everything. All life on Earth comes from the sun. We're no different. Whether we eat a plant or an animal, what they have done as a living being, they have converted energy from the sun into their body, and then we eat it, and we take the energy from them, put it into our body. That's basically how it works. So the sun powers everything, and we evolved to live in the sun regularly. In terms of actual light, the sun's energy is about 52 to 55% infrared, that's above the 700 nm, and then 42 to 43% visible, which is the 400 to 700 nm range. These are nanometers. It's how they measure light, basically. And 3 to 5% ultraviolet, which is below 400 nm. That single statistic, when I thought about it, and then when I looked at red light and near infrared, and then the light levels that these put off, and then I was looking at sun and, of course, firelight. That's the other way that you can get these wavelengths. And I was thinking to myself, okay, Americans spend 90% of their time inside. The sun generates the same type of red near infrared in high quantities that we get from this. If people are using this technology and feeling better, and they're spending most of their time inside, this makes a lot of sense to me. Now, of course, if everybody just went outside all day long, they'd be fine. Like, you would never need any of this technology for the most part. But you're not, I'm not, we're not. It's a modern environment. We have to hack it to try to replicate what is best for our human growth and development. And in this case, it's using this type of technology to try to supplement your light routine and, of course, getting outside at the same time as much as possible. So in a very simplified nutshell, what you're trying to do is you're trying to use this technology to replace some of the lost time outside that you're just not getting. And so a lot of people ask how to use it. You can use it like this, you're further away, but really you want a dose that's kind of probably 3 to 12 inches right up to it. The bigger the panel and the more power, generally the better, because you can go for a shorter period of time. But of course, even if something like small like this that you can turn on, you can just kind of put up right up while you're working, like this. You can put it right up to your face, you can spot treat. There's not really any right or wrong way to do it. Now, if you're going for a specific targeted spot pain relief, like for example, my back, I would put it up 3 inches up to my back and stay there for as long as I can. Now, you can also do the front of the body. You can do your private parts. You can do your whole body, the back side, whatever. You're not really ever going to overdo it. I wouldn't stare directly into them. And the research is mixed on whether you even need to wear eyewear. I don't worry about it as long as I'm not looking directly at it. And there is research that suggests that it's actually really good for your eyesight. That's kind of up to you. If you want to be on the safe side, you can always wear a protective eyewear or at least close your eyes. I like to work with these probably 12 to 24 inches away. I put them right here next to my desk when I'm working. And then I also ideally like to roll it right up, right on the back to get that targeted treatment for my back pain. And if you just strip all that away, find the system that works for you, that's easy, that you'll do consistently, and then you will feel better. That's what we want. If we strip away all of this, you just want to feel better. And the red light and the near infrared is literally fueling your mitochondria. It's energizing you, and it's helping you heal, cellular repair. And since you're not outside getting that from the sun on a daily basis as much as you should, then you use this to help supplement. This is just another tool in your arsenal in this modern environment that you can use to balance out your light nutrition needs. And the final point I make here, we live in an environment that has an abundance of blue light. We all understand that. This device, that device, that device, that device, that device. Actually, not that device, but all these screens around us put off artificial blue light. And that itself is not actually bad. A lot of people think blue light is bad, but blue light's another part of the spectrum you actually need. And there's some research that suggests it's actually good for you. But again, it's the dose, because the dose makes the poison. If you have a lot of blue light, and if you have blue light at the wrong times, because blue light is most conducive in the morning because it suppresses melatonin and it helps your body wake up, right? It's the suppress melatonin, release cortisol. That's the waking up process that sets your circadian rhythm in the mornings. So you actually want blue light and bright lights right in the morning, right when you wake up, and ideally sunlight, right? Because that helps your body basically plan for sleep later on. Now, without going too deep into circadian rhythm and all that, it's very simple to think about this. Blue light in the morning, bright blue lights in the morning, and then dark amber lights at night, sunset, and making sure you're not getting blue light at night. Now, what this does is it tries to balance out your light. Like if you have a lot of blue light and you're already locking in the near infrared and the red because you're not going outside in the sunlight, then what you can do is you can supplement with this to kind of bring the balance up a little bit. And most people struggle with sleep problems today because they have an abundance of blue light and they have it at night, not just blue light, but also just bright lights. Bright at night and blue at night, not ideal. Low light, amber, orange, glow, better. It's just a very simple way to think about that. It's also why we have, I don't have any here, but we have the little orange glow reading lights. We use that for the kids at night with bedtime. Game changer. In fact, the bright lights in the kitchen, if they're getting milk before bed, we're just like, nope, turn those off. Significant difference. And when you start noticing this, you'll wake up. Like if you wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and you turn on a bright light and you're like, oh, there's a reason for that. Your biology literally thinks it's sunrise, and if it's in the middle of the night, your body doesn't want to wake up. It wants to stay asleep. So stop turning on those overhead bright lights. That's just going to disrupt your circadian rhythm and make it harder to go back to sleep. So what you do with something like this is you use this, plus you use other tools and habits to balance out your light nutrition needs. And this is just one of those things that it's such a game changer when you understand this, and it's so obvious when you understand it, that I think this technology and the need for a light nutrition plan is only going to grow. I think we're just at the cusp of a massive trend. Now, these panels have been growing in popularity, and so the prices have been coming down, and the power's been going up, and the quality's been going up. Like, I'm extremely happy with what we've been able to source at Wild Foods from a power price perspective, and just a rugged metal, amazingly, like this thing would probably last your whole life, actually. It's got like a 50,000 hour runtime. You're probably not going to use 50,000 hours. In fact, the average human life is, I don't know, like a couple 100,000 hours, so it's going to last as long as you treat it well. But I think more and more people are going to be waking up to the importance of this and using these tools in their environment to hack their life, just like the standing desk helps me hack sitting too much, or the treadmill right there that I need to use more often, or like this little thing I stand on, like the wobble board when I'm standing, etc. And then the screen being further away. I got a huge TV screen here because I was too close and I was getting myopia, and I basically moved the screen back and I started curing my myopia. It's crazy. But these are the things that when you understand human biology, you understand the environmental, you understand it from an ancestral perspective. Where do we come from? How do we live? And how is that different from today? And we start optimizing these things to try to replicate what our ancestors did in the wild. And then we get better health results. And it's like, oh, that's so obvious. And red light is just a perfect example of that. So if you have any questions to this, let me know, drop a comment or reply to this email wherever you're seeing this. We have 3 high quality, awesome panels that I could not be happier with. This is actually the big boy right here. And then we have a small desktop size, and then we have a medium size that you can pretty much put on a desk or on the ground or wherever. I highly recommend adding some red light to your daily routine. It's just amazing. Like, we actually put it on and the kids gravitate towards it. They play with their toys in front of it. At night, it's when we're taking a bath in the bathroom, we have a red light panel right there, and we don't put on any overhead lights, so there's no blue lights, just straight red. And you can see what's going on, but it's also a calming, soothing effect because it's letting your body know it's bedtime. And you're not shocking your system with bright blue light from the LEDs or whatever bulbs that you probably have in the bathroom. And you have this constant warm glow of red. It's just soothing. It's amazing. And now I got some more back and I feel better. Let me know if you have any questions on this. Happy to help. It's just one of those things that it's so easy. Why not upgrade your routine? And something that could last for years and something that's going to make you feel better for years. Why not? A one-time purchase price, and then you just turn the thing on and make it convenient as part of your work or your bedtime or your life at home routine. Like, come on.